Why is the freezer locked?
Hello, Ira. You don't know me, but I know you. I want to.
No. Let me make this fast. Hi, I'm Ira Cross. This is First Mic, where we talk to comics about their first time on stage. Today up, we have Tanya Vora. I'm too black for this. I'm getting up out of here. Shoot. So, as you've already heard and you found out, we have the amazing, wonderful Tanya Vora. Thank you so much for being on, by the way. We love you here. This is great.
Thank you.
Apparently, Rehab needs to get on and get some tampons, though, and pads and pods. And I don't know how those things work, but y'all, they need them.
Allegedly, I have not been in the bathrooms yet.
Oh.
So
I don't know what that's
we'll
like.
see.
I've only been in there for one sketch, and I
Okay.
was in, and I sat there, and I was out. So I don't really know what's in there either.
No worries.
There's a toilet.
I'll write an email.
They probably won't read it as Rehab. You got to text
True.
them.
Okay. Yeah. Carrier pigeon. Carrier pigeon.
Yeah, he doesn't like to answer the phone, oddly enough, but he will take a text. Shout out John at Rehab Tavern. So, cool. I mean, going right into it, first question I ask every single person, what made you get into comedy?
So I actually did not think that I would be doing comedy when I was younger. Like
Okay.
it was something that I pursued later on in life.
Sure.
I used to do these business pitch competitions called like Startup Weekend. Have you heard of those?
No.
Maybe Brandon's heard of those. Have you? Yeah. Okay. So they're like a global thing where like on a Friday you pitch a business idea.
Okay.
People join your team and then you validate it over the weekend. Then you pitch to investors on a Sunday. And I did those like, I'm a little bit older. I started those when I was like 25 and I did those and I started like speaking to a mic in front of crowds and like talking to investors and like my team ended up going on to like place and stuff. So I was
That's
speaking to, a crowd.
Yeah.
And so ever since I did those, I thought about, okay, I could maybe do stand-up comedy. Like
Right.
maybe I'm funny on stage. I was like, what about airplane food? And so like I started writing jokes in 2019. That's when I also pitched my business Spice Up at like
Sure.
a business pitch competition called Give Back Hack.
Yep.
And I started writing jokes then. And then I actually did stand-up comedy in 2023. So it took me some time
Sure.
to actually think I could do it and then do it. So it's a newer
Yeah.
goal of mine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's cool. That's cool. So then, okay, so would you consider, just kind of weaving into our next question, would you consider the pitch competitions your first mic, or what would you say is your first mic? And tell me about that experience.
Yeah, no, those were definitely not my first mic.
Fair.
No, those were scary experiences. Like I was just like blacked out on stage, like memorizing my presentations,
Yes.
But my first one was at the Attic. It was
Okay.
on July 19th, 2023. That was my
Wow.
official first one.
I feel like I can't remember who the first person was to say like the exact date, but every time I'm just like, I feel like I would know the exact day.
Yeah.
And a few comics were like, yeah, it was like 2021 June or something like that. I think I'm like, how do you not know? I feel like that fear alone of being on the stage, I'd be like, it was this exact moment. I went up third. It was this exact time. Like I would know. So,
Yeah.
but that's awesome. So was it Sister Lou's mic or was it something different?
It was Sister Lou's.
Okay.
And to explain also, like, it's so interesting to hear how people's brains work because I feel like we're
Yes.
planners. I'm a
Yes.
planner. My
Yes.
full-time job, I'm a UX researcher. So I'm like into data and
Yes.
like Excel sheets and stuff.
Yep.
So that's why I kept track of that. And
That's
I keep
fair.
track of like all my shows and mics and stuff and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the time, the Attic was new. And so it was still Sister Lou hosting it. But I didn't know anything about comedy at the time. And like, I just like knew that I had jokes I wanted to tell.
Right.
So it was in July of January in 2023. I started going to comedy shows because I wasn't aware of the comedy scene at all.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so I would go to shows with friends. One of my first comedy shows in Columbus, besides like the Funny Bone, was at the Attic. It was Simon Fraser.
Okay.
And so, going to the show and then
Yeah.
realizing, oh, they have a mic here.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back. And so I would go watch the mics with friends. Bring my girlfriends, like, I'm going to do this one day.
Right.
I'd get like chickened out until I finally did do it, one
Good.
day. So
Yeah. I think it's so funny you bring up Simon Fraser because, like, I remember seeing him really start to blow up, like, during COVID, I want to say.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that, like, that was one of your first comics you see. So, no, I love that. That's great. So why comedy in Columbus? Like what? And I feel like you kind of alluded to this, but I'll make it more pointed as a question. So why? What about comedy in Columbus makes you excited, thrilled, angry, whatever? Like, what are your thoughts on Columbus comedy?
I want to know. I haven't seen all the episodes. So I wanted to know who said angry. I'm so curious. You should make a compilation, the goods and bads. I mean, there's pros and cons, obviously, of any city. We do have a pretty strong scene, I'll say. Comedy in Columbus, it's the Midwest. So I've done comedy festivals in other cities. I've done one in LA, out in Georgia, Athens, Georgia. And the Midwestern comedians are some of the best every time. There's something to growing up and living here, probably depression, right?
We don't got nothing else.
That's all we got going for us. So, but yeah, we just breed strong comedians. And so we have like a pretty strong community of nice people who want to help and support.
Yeah.
That's like different than from what I've heard, people who move here, other comics, they'll say it's different than from like the scene they came from. So I think that's pretty cool. And also like the other like satellite, like Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dayton, they also have strong scenes and it's easy to drive through. I think like Ohio as a whole, doing comedy is like, we're really lucky, I think. Yeah. The only con though, I will say, is that like we have a lot of amateur comics. Like there aren't a lot of people in Ohio doing this full time.
Right.
So it's hard to see like who to base your career off of. You know what I mean? You can't see examples of success. So you do eventually either have to like make it online or move to, depending on your goals. So.
For sure. Yeah. And I'm happy you said it's depending on your goals. Cause like, I feel like some folks, and we kind of talked about this in other episodes with people, with other comics, is some people have it as a hobby. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it works for you. Do it, enjoy it, continue to make that happen. Stay out of other folks' way that really want to grow and develop. Don't be that person that's in their way. But I love that you said, like, depending on your goals, it's Columbus, Ohio is a pretty good comedy scene. And I love that you mentioned like the different cities because there's so much comedy here in Ohio. Yeah. And I think people sleep on it because it's not LA, New York, Austin. Yeah. Like it's not. And that's okay. It's Columbus. So
it could be. There's just no industry here, but like, there could be.
Yeah. I think I've heard some other folks that mentioned, like that are from, outside of Columbus or Ohio for that matter, that just mentioned how strong the scene is. So it's refreshing to hear that. And then another thought you mentioned, you were like, you don't know what you don't know about comedy. Yeah. And I feel like there are so many people in Columbus that don't realize how strong of a comedy scene we have until they go to a show. Nothing against the Funny Bone, because everybody knows about the Funny Bone. It's there. It's obvious. It's the Funny Bone, which I'm pretty sure the flagship Funny Bone is here in Columbus.
I think so. Yeah,
I think so.
At least for this like region. Yeah,
at least for this region. So the Funny Bone's awesome, but like to know that there are other clubs and other shows that pop up, most people don't notice that just because they're not looking for it, and I get it. So I think we definitely have a strong scene, and it's just a matter of like growing it, developing it, and getting more the people who are talented and hardworking. That combination is dangerous to be more professional. Not that they're not professional people, but like they don't do it full time. And that'd be great to see. I would love that to see, any comic. I would love to see you do comedy full time. I don't know if that's what you want to do, but
we can talk about goals. Yeah,
man. So, okay. So let's dive into that then. So goals wise, in terms of comedy, what goals do you have for yourself?
It's to do my company Spice Up full time, which I mentioned I pitched at that business pitch competition, Get Back Hack, and use that as a platform to do comedy full time too. Yeah. It's just hard. It's just like it's hard to make a livable wage doing comedy these days. Like the standard of living or like the wages haven't they've been stagnated since like the 80s. So like our payment for comedy hasn't improved since like people were going on like the Tonight Show with like Jay Leno. You know what I mean? Like things have like stayed the same for the most part. Okay. And so also with like ticket prices, like you really can't move that for inflation that much. An audience is going to expect a certain price. Right. And so like it's really hard to do it full time unless you have those other platforms. So like that's why comedians have so many podcasts. Okay. There's too many. I understand. I want to make one. But that's how we make a livable wage, you know? So that is one of my goals. I'm trying to figure out how to get there. That's why I have like another like platform to fall back on, as well as like trying to build other streams of income.
So you mentioned Spice Up a couple times now. Like tell us about it. What is it? I know what it is, but they don't know what it is.
That's true. Let me tell you. Spice Up, it's a company that I pitched in 2019. What I do is I interview a chef with another stand-up comedian while the audience tries their food. And I've been doing it for that long, but it's had different variations because I wasn't a comedian until 2023. So before I would just interview a chef and it wouldn't be funny, or maybe it would be, you know?
Right. Just conversation.
Yeah, maybe that's where I first like thought like maybe it could be funny. But yeah, so I started doing that. I've been doing that for a while, and now I just kind of do it sporadically because I still have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And so it's just I'm trying to find consistency in it while not like burning out. You
Fair.
know, that's like burning out is really easily in comedy because we're like on and live and working all the time and late nights, and so yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so you have Spice Up, which is awesome. And if you have not seen it, go check it out. Like, finish this video.
Yeah.
Then go to the next one, which is hers, which will be great. I love that.
I've had Avishar Barua, local chef, and I've had other people like Bonifacio and the people of Maza. I just want to shout them out. So.
Plug it, plug away. That's what we do. We shout out people and give energy to everybody else. But in addition to shows online, you also have shows in person too.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about some of those things.
Yeah, along with Spice Up, I do like I mean, if I'm lucky to be booked on a show, those are other things, but like also like the things that I like produce, I produce a mic called Brats.
Yep.
And it's at Space Bar, 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's a femme women centered mic, but we allow men.
Yeah.
You're allowed to come. We were there once. We let you in. We had a lot of questions, but
I answered them all immaculately. I think. I don't know. I was there.
It helped that you brought your fiance, so that
did.
helped.
I was smart.
Yeah. But no, Brats. It's a mic that me and a couple friends run.
Mm-hmm.
We had this idea of like, so I used to run a mic on the west side of town in Westgate, Hilltop area, and it was just really hard for one person to run a mic. So I went to my friends and I was like, it would just be smarter if we just like switched out every week. And so that's what we ended up doing. And it's like a group effort, super successful, and yeah, one of my favorite mics in the city.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is. No, I mean, I love that you mentioned too, like you talked about being burnt out in comedy. And if you're running a mic and you're really excited about it, I mean, we're human. We put a lot of energy into something and then we can burn out because of that. But you were smart. You got like multiple people into it. So yeah, having a community around it makes more sense. You can hold the weight easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you haven't checked out Brats, make sure you go. Make sure you check it out. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Different folks most of the time, I would say. I don't think
We try
I've
and switch
seen.
it up.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I've seen the same. I mean, there's people that stick around, but it has never been the exact same mic lineup every single time. It's good stuff. It's a good time.
And we can't make everyone, and I'll see new people. I'm like, who are you people?
Yeah.
You know, like, the Patrick meme. I'm like, who are you? What are you guys doing here? Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm just going through. I wish I had these memorized, but I don't.
No, interviewing is so
I don't.
hard.
It
Great
is
job.
hard.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you.
on. I do it for my job too.
Thank you. Man, I just realized that look at Brandon looked like it made like he was like I was calling him out for something. I wasn't. He feels me is why I made that face. Thank you. Yeah, he looked back and was like, yup, she knows.
His job is hard too, but also it's both. It's difficult.
His job is ongoing, and I will say this as many times. I will say this right now because I have the microphone in my hand and he can't stop me. I always feel like he's always doing more as he leans over to like cut off the mic. No, this is a good thing I'm saying. You can't cut me off on my good thing I'm saying.
Yeah.
Brandon, I feel like when it comes to like the work that we're doing an equal amount of work.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just very different. And I always feel like he's doing more, so then I feel like I have to do more. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like, and he told me, he's like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like where I'll be doing something, he'll be like, dang, I gotta go make sure I do. I'm like, no, you don't have to do that because now I have to do more. Like we don't have to, but we always do that, and it's a really, that's one of the things that makes our relationship between like for this such a good thing, because we never feel like the other, I'm never looking at him like he's not doing enough. I always think he's doing more than I'm doing, and it's the same energy. So it works out well. And there's a lot of other reasons it works, but
communication.
He couldn't stop me from saying that, and he can't rebuttal because he don't have a microphone.
Exactly, on purpose.
I'm gonna do this so he can't. His sound doesn't travel to the microphone.
Also, can I just say thank you for having me on the set of Saw 11. This is. I'm so happy to be here. I'm scared. Save me.
The black man is still alive, and it's been I forget what episode we're on right now. 20? This might be 20. I think we're on episode 20. If we're not, correct me in the comments. I love doing that. Yeah, there's too many episodes for me to still be alive. Let's be honest. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real. And I'm very comfortable in this place. So
it's
either they're doing a really good job of like lulling me into a false sense of security, or I'm just that comfortable because it's safe. So yeah, I've seen white women jog in this neighborhood. We're fine.
Okay. Yeah. Franklinton.
With headphones on.
Yeah.
That's real.
That is, they're not doing that on the hilltop. I'll tell you that.
No. Yeah, no. There's no jogging with headphones on. So
Yeah, there's no sidewalks. All right.
There's no
Sorry,
sidewalk.
keep going. I'm
No,
sorry.
there's no sidewalks. There's just curb. Sometimes there's no curb.
There's no curb.
It's just
Yeah.
there you are. What it is.
Yeah.
Grass.
Good luck.
May the odds be ever. You want to play a game? There it is. You started this.
You need a new sponsor. All right.
I mean, it's fun. If who is it? Is it Twisted Pictures that does Saw?
I forget.
We have nothing to do with horror. Please
Yeah.
sponsor us, Twisted Pictures. I think it's Tyson would
Oh yeah.
love
I also love
that.
horror. It's my favorite genre. So if they put the
Yes.
three of us in that movie, yeah, phenomenal.
I mean, I'm in. I'm
Let's
down
do
to
it.
do it. I love horror. I love acting.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Shout out. You're my acting mentor a little bit.
What? Stop it.
I ask you questions. You're like, Tanya,
Yes.
stop being dumb.
I've never said that.
He said that verbatim. I can show the text.
It's like, girl.
He said, "You're so stupid," and I'm like, "Oh,
Again. No, you know what's funny is I've heard that from a few folks, and it's always humbling to
Yeah.
hear things like that, because like I still think, like I look back at myself as an actor as we step away from comedy for a second. Sorry, folks. That's what you get when you have an actor on stage and another actor in
a
front
thespian." Sorry, yeah.
of. Yes, thespian. Was that with my diaphragm? Did I diaphragm that one? No, probably not. I already said the word. I'm not gonna be able to do it again. Anyways, no, I love. It's always humbling. I love hearing it because I think of myself as this dude who like just started doing it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's weird in a really good way. Like people have asked me like, yeah, how long have you been doing it? And I'm like, I don't want to tell people because it hasn't been that long.
Yeah.
Like since 2020, and they're like, oh wow. And I'm like, that's impressive. They're like, yeah, you still do this and you made it full time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I do it full time.
But no, I'm super impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Another
No.
industry that's hard to make it in. So
For sure.
congrats.
And you know what, though? I will say, connecting it back to comedy, I would love to figure out a way to help comics do what I'm doing in acting in comedy. And it's just like, once we figure that out, then I think that'll blow things off the doors for sure.
I think so.
It's possible. It's just we haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
That's just where we are with comedy. And I'm not the only actor in Columbus that does it full time. It's just, we are pretty rare.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that is really, really hard. It's hard to take that leap. Like, especially if you have a job where you have benefits and a steady pay and it's consistent and all those wonderful things. Like, it's hard to leave that. I get it. And I left those things and it sucked because I was like, what is happening next? I don't even know.
Yeah.
So, and I think people don't realize the thing with making that leap happen. People don't realize that it is just as unknown as what you're currently doing. It just seems like this thing that you're doing now is more stable. And sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. It's just a matter of like, do you want to do the hard work to make it happen versus what you're doing now is hard work, whatever you're doing. It's just less unknown for you, where there's
Yeah.
so much unknown over here. Like, am I going to be able to get the bookings that I need for the week? Am I going to be able to, if I'm sick, then what? You know, those are different
Yeah.
variables that happen, but there's pros and cons to both.
I wish
So,
they'd bring back like patronages, like artist have you heard of those? Like where like
Yo.
1800s, they'd pay a billionaire would pay artists to make art. Like we need more systems in place to support us.
Yes.
Essentially.
You know, the sad part is that we have those. They're just aimed at the wrong industries.
Oh really?
Let me take that back. They're not aimed at the wrong industries. They're aimed at industries that are not those. Because OnlyFans is real.
Fair.
And so are sugar daddies.
Okay.
That's a form of patronage. It's just,
I guess so.
It just doesn't benefit the arts. Sugar daddies, sugar daddies,
I was gonna say
sugar
yeah.
daddies don't
OnlyFans
benefit the
does.
arts. OnlyFans does.
And I feel like I can make the case for sugar daddies too. Well,
Yeah, we got to lean hard.
that's a
on
different
that one.
podcast.
That's a different podcast.
I'll be back.
Sugar daddies and patronage.
And those are our channels of income.
Yes.
We figured it out.
I love my fiance dearly. I told her if I ever got a sugar mama, we can stay together. I just
Yeah.
know where this money's coming from.
Yeah.
So,
but
that's
also,
super.
I took up acting to learn another tangential skill set, just to like
Yeah.
diversify my skill sets. A lot of comedians do, especially if you like move to LA, like you're getting booked in some way.
As you should.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to a comedian that has maybe, I mean, they don't have to be great. Just, you know, how do you act on camera? How do you act on stage? Having that ability to perform, I think, is really good. Even if you're just focusing on improv. Because as a comic, you got to kind of make an adjustment as you go along. You got to know your material, obviously. But like when something is thrown at you that's crazy, how do you adjust?
Yeah.
and stick with your material at the same time. Like crowd work, people love it, but doing that crowd work stuff, that comes from being able to know how to improvise, whether you took classes or whatever or not.
Yeah.
But I think it is important to have that diversity like you're having, which is great.
Diversity.
Boom.
Boom.
That handshake was great.
Thank you.
Clip it. It's been clipped.
City of Columbus. Sponsor.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
City of Columbus diversity. No, I love it. That's
All
great.
right, yeah.
I think I was gonna say there was another. Tia was on. She's an actress.
Love Tia. Yeah.
Tia's great. Tia's great. I'm trying to think of other folks that are actors. Now we got to spread that. Go act. If you're a comic, go take an acting class of some kind. I don't know.
I think it helps. Yeah, for sure.
It definitely helps. It's just stage presence for sure. Kind of knowing where your body is in space.
Absolutely.
That's a big one. You know?
There's a lot of the same psychology too, of like you're performing in front of an audience, you're entertaining. So
yeah. And I think that's why, like, for a lot of folks think that I need to go up on stage. Like comics ask me all the time, when you going up?
Yeah.
You know, especially when I'm at mics. But I think the reason that it's so easy for me to be around comics, I speak just for myself, not all actors. Just so put that out there. I think it's easy because there's so much like that goes. There's a lot of reciprocation between the two.
Yeah.
You got to be on stage. You have to have a stage presence. You have to be able to talk to people and whatnot. So, and work off of whatever the situation is. And I think that's great for comedy.
I agree.
Questions. So you talked about your first mic already, which was at Sicily, which is awesome. Love that. Oh,
yeah.
So were you going to say more?
I didn't say how it went.
You did not say how it went. Yeah, you said it happened.
It
so
happened.
Here, I have a thought of how I think it went, but I want you to share first before I
Wait,
share my
really?
thought.
Okay, I'm so curious.
Well, in terms of like whether you bombed or not.
Okay.
That's as much as I got. I don't have much more than that.
I did exceptionally well.
Of course you did.
I did. I'm a planner.
Of course you did.
I also had like the stage, like I was talking on stages already, and like I also like have a lot of anxiety. Thank you to my parents. I practiced a lot. I recorded myself practicing. I was like in my closet like practicing. I went to the mics ahead of time to visualize myself up there. Did a lot of practice to do it. And to each their own, like that's just how I handle things that are scary. And so I was a little like, I blacked out a little bit on stage. It's a different type of speaking instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of like pitching an idea.
Yep.
But yeah, I did well. I was like 9th on the lineup. I remember someone had let me like cut them. I was going to be like 15th or even later.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to go up earlier, right? It's your first one, but I didn't want to be first. So someone let me be 9th. And so thank you to them. Did really well. I had like, I didn't know what a tight 5 was a week previous. I had to Google it because I thought we'd all just go up there and tell 5 jokes. No, you have 5 minutes. For people who didn't know that, by the way. And so I knew it was 5 minutes, and I had a couple jokes that I'd been writing since 2019.
Sure.
And then I did well, and then I got a lot of like laughs, a lot of applause, and the comedian right after his name's Chris Toiloi. He went up and he's like, "Wow, she did really well. I can't believe that was her first time," and that was like motivation to keep doing it. So
yeah. I love that he said that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Of course. So here's what I was going to say. Here's my thought. My thought was like, you planned it out super well, like I knew you would. I didn't realize what you put into it, which sounds about right. But I was like, she's planned it out super well, and she like did one thing and it bombed. That was what I was thinking. Because like every comic, not every comic, but every comic thinks they're going to go up and crush it. And then those ones that go in like super strong typically bomb. And I'm not thinking that you were doing that, but I was like, she's going to plan it and it's just going to flop. But it didn't. Of course it didn't.
Yeah.
Of course it didn't.
Well, compared to my standards now, I didn't like crush, but I did do well for a new comic. Yeah, I should say that. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't bomb. You didn't bomb. That's awesome. I mean, you love hearing those stories, but like, I was like, where's she going with this? How's it gonna go?
There should be a vote underneath the video, like before you watch it. Do you think they're gonna like crush it or bomb it?
Yeah. Ooh.
I think that'd be funny based off their like appearance or something.
I mean, we can add in the quiz thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, did this comic bomb or did they crush on their first mic?
That'd be funny.
There
Or
it
go to
is.
mics and like ask people, what do you think? You know, you've seen them on stage. Come on, what do you think their first time was
What do you
like?
think their first time was like on stage?
Yeah.
Don't lie to us. No, that's good. I love that. So you did well in that. I think you know what's funny is I think you said something in there. To each their own, right? Because I think one thing that people don't realize when it comes to any stage performance, but specifically comedy, your process is very different than the next person's process than whoever's going up after you and before. It's not going to be the same. It could be similar. You could take pieces, but it's never going to be the same. And I think some people want it to be like cookie cutter formula, and it just isn't.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that, like, you know, you're like, I do all these things. I do this, I do that, I did this. I made this happen because my anxiety. But it works for you. And that's all that matters, is that it works for you and you're able to like continue to do the things that you do. So yeah. Find your process. Actually, that goes into the next question, kind of. What would you tell either comics that are brand new, like they just did their first mic this past week, or people who are like, I think I want to go to an open mic and try it out? What would you tell them?
Yeah, I think it's super important to remember that this is an art form at the end of the day. And the way that I treat it is like I'm going to like college or school for learning comedy. So your first couple years, you aren't going to be, say you're going to like, you want to be a doctor. Your first couple years, you're not going to be a doctor. You're learning, you're going to school. And then by the time you're a senior, you might be ready to go apply to med school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but you're not a doctor yet. So just remember, like, it's the same process. With like studying and learning a skill set. And also, again, it's an art form, so it's subjective. That's why our processes are different.
Exactly.
There's still like foundational things you should learn. Like, like an example I love to tell people is like, if you look at Picasso's work, he didn't get to, you see his cubism art, but you don't see his original work that was like really similar to like Michelangelo's, like things that he was just like doing day in and day out to learn like the foundations of how to like draw a body. It took him a long time to build his point of view and his perspective. Decades. It's the same process. You just got to stay true to your work, stay true to your point of view, build your processes that work for yourself. And it's all subjective at the end of the day. So
right. No, I think that's great. I mean, I think that's something that people who really want like the cookie cutter version of formula, they're not going to be happy with that response. But at the same time, I think you threw some nuggets in there. Like, there are some basics that you need to get, but you got to make it your own.
Yeah.
You really do. And you got to be patient. And I feel like the reason that we lose a lot of comics that start so early, like that, you know, within that first 2 years, is because they're not patient. Or maybe they figured out it isn't for them. That's okay too. You know, that's totally fine.
Also, one more thing.
Please do.
I think it's super important for people to realize that like you're building a following, well, online, but you're also with your point of view, you're building like an audience for your perspective.
Yes.
And you are a business at the end of the day. You realize this as you keep doing comedy. You realize you want to do this more than just like a couple times. But like you're building, your perspective, and that builds an audience, and you're more sellable to like venues and whatnot. So I think that's important. It's not just about like people will produce shows with like just their friends, and there's like no incentive for like an audience to come watch it because they're like, who are these people? What's going on? They're just like the buds on stage.
Yes.
But make sure you're making things appealing for an audience. You know, engage with them on stage. Again, the acting part of it is helpful too. Just remember, like, this is a relationship with the audience.
Yes. Cool. No, I love that's great insight. Okay, so rapid fire. Questions, and every single time I go back to my phone, it's been like scroll to the top. All right, so first rapid fire question: who's your favorite Columbus comic, not including you?
Not including me. Okay, I'm going to quote Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everyone black and brown. Rooting for us.
Love it.
I remember when I first started, Ty Erskine came up to me because he saw that I was another person of color. He's like, we should, be in community.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's one of them. And then I'm going to enlist more. I'm going to break the rules.
Fine.
I'm going to do it. Sorry,
rules.
kick me out.
We'll kick you out in 10 minutes.
I mean, Freddie Simone is like one of my favorite people.
Freddie.
So great. Dan Seabury, Amber Falter, the Brats also, Bridget, Rhea, Rochelle, Allison, Sydney. There's just so many. I mean, they're incredible women comedians. My favorites also Kitty Long, Caitlin Minosky, Erica Wickham, and then Big Guy and Shotgun. They're great. I mean, wow, they have such like a unique act. So there's so many more. I just want to list a ton of people. There's other favorites out there.
You're not the first person to break the rule of saying comic and you listed 10. It's fine. It's fine. Nobody listens to Ira. It's fine. We're just promoting people on this show, I guess, for free. No, that's what we... If you didn't hear him, Brandon said favorite comic, not every comic in Columbus, which is fair. If you got all of those names, go follow them on Instagram. Follow all those people. There are solid comics, and if you love Columbus comedy, do that. Go support them.
Yeah.
I love it. Favorite comic in general, just throughout history, alive, dead, whatnot.
Ooh, so I think Ali Wong was one of my
Sure.
inspirations to do
Yeah.
comedy. So she's probably one of my top faves. I'm seeing her in a couple weeks. This comes out later in April.
Yeah.
I'm seeing her in Cincinnati in May.
Nice.
And also Chris Fleming. He's
Okay.
do you know who he is?
I know of, but I haven't seen the work.
Such
so,
a good comedian.
yes.
He does a lot of like physical work, and it's like
Okay.
he's one of those comedians where he's like in a group of his own. Like it's
Okay.
really not, you can't replicate what he's
Yeah,
doing.
I was like, I know of the name because I know a
Yeah.
lot of comics names just from seeing and hearing and talking to folks.
Yeah.
But I will not be the person that's like, yeah, I know their stuff. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you right now. You'll be like, oh, what about this? And I'll be like, yeah. And you'll be like, that's not even it. Oh,
There's too many comedians.
There's too many comedians.
I have this argument. There's too many.
yes,
so,
there's
yeah.
too many. So there's no. I mean, I when it comes to comedy, I feel like lean into what you like and enjoy and you vibe with, and
Yeah.
just go with that. Ain't nothing wrong with like if you don't vibe with Cat Williams,
Yeah.
then you don't, and that's fine. Like just because they're a huge popular comic, you don't have to know and love them. Oh, favorite open mic spot.
Hey. Lots of favorites.
Sure.
But I mean, Brats is obviously, I'm biased. It's a good mic. We've
sure.
built a good spot for men and women. All right. Everyone's welcome. Non-binary folks too. Really, I mean, a lot of places that like make an effort to bring a real audience. I think that that makes a mic worth going to be honest. There are mics where it's mostly comics and that's okay. It's really hard to bring people in. It's a difficult, I've run 2 mics now. It's very hard. But if I had to list favorite mics, it's places with an audience. You know, Hashtag brings an audience. The Attic
Yeah.
brings an audience.
Yeah.
And I love going to those places so you can test out your material.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not surprised you said Brats. I was hoping you would. Best way that you deal with hecklers.
I'm going to knock on somewhere wood. I haven't dealt with a lot of hecklers.
Ooh.
Early on, when I was only like a month or 2 and I had someone like heckle me and I didn't know what to say, so I just kept going. I didn't know what to say to them. So
Yeah. I think that's a fair way to deal with it. You ignore them. That's one way.
I was going to say you actually have to address it.
Oh, okay.
You do have to address it.
Sure.
If you watch like people, if you ignore it, you can ignore it to a degree.
Sure,
but like if
sure.
they're like disrupting the show, like
Yeah,
you do have to be
that's-
like, hey, stop it. Because you have to remember it's a relationship with the audience. The audience is realizing like something is happening. So you have to be like,
Yes.
address it in some way. So.
Yes. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. At some point, you have to address it. But if it's just like one bloop, you can ignore it or address it. I think, yeah. But also having not been a comic on a stage and dealt with being heckled, I don't have a dog in this fight. So that's why that's one of the reasons I like to ask the questions, because I'm like, how do people deal with it differently?
Yeah.
And it always makes for some kind of back and forth between us. Okay. Weirdest place that you did a show or a mic?
Weirdest place. Let's see. Oh man, I've done some corporate gigs. Corporate gigs are rough, you guys. They pay the most amount of money, but like
Right.
I was asked to do someone's wedding reception, and I was like, you don't want me to do that. They wanted me to do like an hour alone and no dancing, just a comedian. And and I don't have an hour. I was like gonna bring another comedian, but luckily that didn't like work out.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. But they wanted to pay well. That's good. But
That's such an odd place to.
it's odd.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay.
No. Highly do not do that. But anyways, I did do a show at a hot dog shop where people didn't realize comedy was happening. So it was on somewhere downtown, and people were just walking in surprised. It was St. Patrick's Day too.
Oh,
It
that's
was
even-
like
yeah.
bizarre. So
Yeah.
that just like felt a little weird. It was a fun show, but it was like, okay,
Yes, people
we're
being
surprising people. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted a hot dog and
Yeah.
green beer, green hot dog probably.
I assume so. Yeah. I forget. I blacked out. I guess.
blacked
Yeah.
So last 2 questions. What's your least favorite social media and your favorite social media?
This ambiguous question.
I love it.
What does this even mean?
It's not though.
What
I
does it
swear it's
mean?
not.
Favorite
You-
social media like
How you-
platform?
however you want to answer it. I'm leaving
CEO?
it open.
None of it. It's terrible for our brains.
Fair.
It's simultaneously the worst thing to happen to humanity and the best, because it's leveled the playing field.
Yeah.
We can, you no longer have to go, you no longer just have to have an agent to make it in, entertainment, Hollywood.
Right.
You can, burn the bridges, get there yourself, but or burn the ladder.
Hmm.
But, So that's why I'm struggling with this. That like it's great that like you can upload as many times as you want to make things pop off for your career. So I do this thing. I was going to mention this. Every time a headliner comes or I open a feature for a headliner and we grab drinks afterwards or we're in the green room, I always ask them questions about how they got to where they got to their career,
that's a
where
good
they
one.
are at right now.
Yeah.
And almost every headliner that I've worked with made it because their videos took off. They went viral. They
Yeah.
reached virality, but then they also had the work to back up virality. So it's like opportunity meets, what's the phrase? Like opportunity meets
what is the phrase?
the work or whatever.
Brandon, look that up while we struggle. Opportunity.
I'm not going to, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I know
they
exactly what
had
you
the
mean.
work to back up. Like the door opened and then they could, it wasn't just a random thing that they had to like figure out how to like
Yeah, yeah.
fulfill like the demands that suddenly came.
Yes.
Like
they were doing
yeah.
it along the way. This happened, and
Yeah.
they were continuing to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes a ton of sense.
there we go. Opportunity meets preparation. Thank you.
Brandon knows stuff. That's why we make great partners. I give him problems, he solves them.
Nice.
That's not true. All the time is what he said. That's not true. Sometimes it's true. Most of the time it's true. So speaking of
anyways,
social
yeah.
media, where can people find you? Whether that's on social media or websites, what have you? Where can people
Yeah.
find you on the interwebs?
Tanya.Vora.
Okay.
I recently just switched it from Totally Tanya, but it was too hard to explain to people. Like, that's not my real name. I have a last name, blah, blah. So Tanya.Vora on like Instagram and TikTok. YouTube is just Tanya Vora. I was able to get that one at least. And then Spice Up Eats. That's what I'm growing. And then Brats Comedy is the mic I mentioned.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Before we bounce, I do have to give a wonderful shout out to the people who let us stay here and hang out. Rehab Tavern. If you have not been to Rehab Tavern, hey, what's up, Gabriel? Wonderful bartender. If you haven't been here, you'll meet this person. He's
Okay.
fantastic people. You'll probably meet Pete in the back. What up, Pete?
They're not here to murder us.
They're not here to murder us. They work
surprised.
and or are regulars here. Great
Okay.
people. You are not
Oh.
here. You are not here to murder me.
It's a ghost.
Okay. I'm gonna keep talking so he can't murder me. Murder me. See, I don't even know how to talk anymore. Murder me on camera.
The
Anywho,
ratio of white people to people of color in this horror
Yes,
film,
yeah.
I'm concerned.
It's shifting now.
Yeah.
It's shifting. But if you haven't been to Rehab Tavern, come through, hang out. It is a place where apparently Pete is trying to talk over me, and I don't know why. Are you hearing him at all? No, of course not. See, that's how that works.
That's how that works.
Anyway, it's a wonderful place. They call it a clean dive. I would agree. It's 456 West Town Street in Franklinton. Cool place.
Nice.
So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to hang out on First Mic. Come back next week, next Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. That's the
Appreciate
show.
it. Love it. I've
Easy
done
work.
this 27 times.
Hey. Everybody get a shot.
Hey.
So at the end, we always do a photo too.
Oh, cool.
Just to make sure that, we freeze ourselves in time.